Hey guys, it's Bub here, and in this video, we'll be unboxing the Samsung Galaxy S20 5G in Cosmic Gray. I was able to pick up this phone on Black Friday for $200 off its original retail price. So, in this video, we'll be unboxing it, and I'll be giving you my first impressions as well as a brief review of the actual unit. Taking a look at the box itself, we can see that it has S20 on the front as well as smaller text on the bottom that says S20 5G. There are two versions of the S20, the S20 4G and the S20 5G. I just happened to pick up the 5G model. On the back of the box, we can see that it is an unlocked by Samsung unit, meaning I can use this on any carrier inside of the United States. Now, I can cut the seal on the top and the bottom of the device using my iFixit screwdriver. I definitely don't recommend using a screwdriver as a way to cut seals, however this is all I had around me at the time and I really wanted to unbox my brand new phone. The last Samsung Galaxy phone I had ever unboxed was the Galaxy S8, where the S8's box actually flipped over instead of pulling away from the lower portion like an iPhone. So I was ultimately surprised that Samsung had went for a more iPhone-like unboxing with their S20 lineup. Now I can flip the box over and get my new S20 in hand, but before we take a look at the phone itself, let's take a look at what is in the box. First, we can have a little Samsung divider which basically separates the phone from the rest of the components. Now we have a super fast charging brick which instead of having a USB-A connector at the end, it does have a USB-C connector. Next, we get our charging cable, which isn't braided like the Essential phones was, but hey, I mean, we're not going to get braided cables on everything. The next thing in the box was a pair of AKG headphones. Now, I believe these are the same headphones that we found in the Galaxy S8 box, as the S8 was the first phone to come with AKG tuned headphones. However, instead of having a 3.5mm headphone on the bottom, this pair of headphones now has a USB-C connector at the bottom, as the S20 does not have a 3.5mm headphone adapter. Now, we can take a look at the Galaxy S20 5G and compare it to the size of my previous Essential phone. We can see here that they are almost the same size. I actually expected the S20 to be a little bit larger than it is. However, it is almost the same size as my Essential phone. The Essential phone is definitely thicker than the S20, however, I kind of expected this considering the fact that the Essential phone has flat, squared off corners, while the S20, of course, has that edge display and rounded corners. The next thing to do is hold the power button and allow the Galaxy S20 to start up into its setup process. My Essential phone actually takes about 3 to 4 minutes to turn on, which I know is a very long time and I have no clue why it goes this slow. However, the startup on the S20 really blew me away because it didn't take that long. The startup process on the S20 is extremely fast even after having all my apps installed, so this is definitely a big jump from said Essential phone. To set up this phone, all I have to do is click the blue arrow and then agree to the Samsung terms and conditions, as well as opt out of some optional things. After I saw the terms and condition page, I was then prompted to enter my Wi-Fi username and password. Once I did that, the phone decided to check for updates. However, apparently it didn't install all the updates, as the same night that I unboxed this phone, I ended up installing 5 different system software updates. So I would not trust checking for updates in this stage. Next, I was asked to copy over apps and data from a previous phone. However, I wanted to start my Galaxy S20 off with a fresh start as there were some apps that I did not want to copy from my Essential phone. After I declined that, I was then prompted to sign in with my Google account. I, of course, did this, entered my username, entered my password, and then got a notification on my Essential phone, which I clicked yes to sign in through two-factor authentication. After I set up all my Google preferences, I was then told about screen protectors and the ultrasonic fingerprint scanner, which I was extremely enthusiastic to try. So using my finger on this display to get a fingerprint scan was actually really cool because all other fingerprint scanners I've ever tried have been physically on the device and not embedded in the display. So this was pretty cool to try, and it's really cool to use every time you pick up your phone. As you keep putting your finger on the display, it scans your fingerprint like any other fingerprint scanner would. Since I did not want any additional bloatware than what already came with the phone, I opted out of installing Samsung Members. From there, it allowed me to add a few finishing touches and then asked me to sign into my Samsung account. I did not remember my Samsung account password, so I completely skipped this part in setup and then signed into it later on. After that, I was brought into an all done screen where I just clicked OK, and I was then brought into the S20's home screen. By default, it looks like this. It's nothing really special, but I really love this phone already. I've had the Galaxy S20 for just about 3 days now, and here is my review or first impressions and things that I love about this device. The first thing I love is that in-screen fingerprint scanner. Even though it's not a new concept, I just think it's really cool for your phone to be scanning your fingerprint through the screen instead of having a dedicated hardware fingerprint scanner. A feature that is extremely important to me in a mobile phone is a great camera, and I think the Galaxy S20 exceeds that. In fact, I believe that the S20 could take better pictures than my Canon G7X Mark II, which is its own dedicated camera. Another good thing about this camera is that it has tons of other modes like Pro, Panorama, and Live Focus, which I really love Live Focus. Not only does this display have an amazing color range with very vivid colors, but it also has 120 Hz. 120 Hz is amazing when you're scrolling through it in person. Now obviously on YouTube you really can't see the 120 Hz because my camera only records in 60 FPS, but in person, scrolling through things in the UI is buttery smooth, and I could not recommend a better display panel to anyone besides the one on the Galaxy S20. It is truly an amazing panel. Coming from an essential phone that barely lasted 1 hour after 2 years of continuous use, the 4000 mAh battery on the S20 was a very welcome change. With my usage, it definitely doesn't last 20 hours on a single charge, but I can now get through one whole day without having to charge my phone. The stereo speakers on this device make media consumption amazing. Take a listen for yourself. Lack of documentation for the LGA 1200 socket. Be Quiet had came out and said that the Dark Pro 4 will work with an LGA 1200 socket, but there is no official documentation on it. There's documentation for the LGA 1151 as well as AMD sockets, but none for the 1200 as the Dark Pro 4 came out before the 1200 was announced. So, going back to the display, let's take a look at it. Again, here we can see the very vivid colors, the sharp image, and overall this is a very good looking display, and I would highly recommend it to anyone who consumes a lot of media. Anyway guys, make sure to like and subscribe if you're new around here, as I do all kinds of various technology videos, including general videos and device restorations. Was anyone else able to pick up a Galaxy S20 on Black Friday or Cyber Monday? Let me know in the comments, and let me know how you like the device. With that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.